Have you noticed in grief how difficult it is to deal with all those special days? And there seem so many of them, don't there? Valentine's Day, Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, Father's Day, the anniversary of the death. There are so many of these days. And even when you seem to be chugging along quite well in your grief, managing well, these days can really activate you and be difficult. So how do you handle them? What can you do? I think the thing to do is try to balance the sorrow with the gratitude for the life. And it is challenging. It is. I know myself, the week before the anniversary of Brian's death is difficult. I feel it in my body. I feel different, even though we're coming up to 6 years now. So early on, it is really, really challenging to approach these days. And I think it's important to have a plan. How are you going to do it? You get to choose. Do you want to be alone? Do you want to sit quietly and contemplate? Or do you want to make an effort to try and celebrate your loved one? Maybe light a candle, maybe visit the cemetery, maybe play a tune that they loved or bake a recipe on their birthday. Do you want to still celebrate that birthday or not? These are things that we have to start thinking of in grief. And it's really interesting to me that these days come and go normally. But as soon as you have lost someone, they seem to have a much more significant impact on you because of the absence. And there seem to be so many days coming up. So one of the things I would suggest is you think about, maybe even look at the calendar of what days are coming up so they don't suddenly hit you and you aren't prepared and all of a sudden you go into a downward spiral. You need to choose. Do you want to be with people? One person, many, family, alone? How do you want to honor your loved one? Can you do that? If it's a mother on Mother's Day, do you want to buy a special bunch of flowers just to honor her? You know, my mother died 3 years ago and her neighbor really loved her. And every anniversary of my mother's death, I get a picture sent from England of the beautiful blue vase my mother gave her and some spring flowers in it. And for me, it is such a beautiful memory and a way of honoring my mum. So as these days are coming up, particularly now we're in February, Valentine's Day, this one of love, which can be particularly hard, can't it? When you're in the shops, you see the roses, you see the chocolates, you see the cards, and all you can think of perhaps is, well, my loved one's not here, I don't have anyone. Perhaps Valentine's Day, you buy yourself a bunch of flowers, you buy chocolates if you want them, you light a candle, but somehow find a way to balance that sorrow with the life lived, that sorrow for the gratitude of your loved one, and find a small way to honor them and give yourself lots of self-compassion. These days are hard. They're hard possibly for many years until, I would say, until the absence is not as strong, the sorrow for the absence and the gratitude takes over for all the love and all the good times, if those are what you had. So I hope this is helpful. Think about what you want to do for these upcoming special days, whenever yours are. Perhaps mark them on the calendar, have a plan, and take care of yourself.